Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The United States federal government poses a serious threat to the financial security of cryptocurrency holders within the country. Many of us have all of our savings invested in cryptocurrency due to the widespread belief in its value, and if the Federal Reserve has its way, many of us will go bankrupt. Therefore, I am convinced that cryptography will remain relevant for the foreseeable future. It's the best investing opportunity for the average person in human history, in my opinion. And I don't think that's asking too much. So, naturally, I've decided to stop diversifying my portfolio. Therefore, if the Fed were to genuinely damage things, my wealth wouldn't vanish entirely. But what I'm saying is that we XRP holders ought to start verbally pushing back against government officials who oppose cryptocurrencies in general and XRP in particular. Now that XRP is being targeted by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, it is clear that a counterattack is necessary to counter the SEC's message that cryptocurrencies are inherently risky and should be avoided at all costs. So, please don't expect political commentary from us. And I hope it never is, because I have no intention of making that the only time I ever discuss politics. If it's about money or crypto, that's all there is to it. I don't see myself as the type to pursue a career in politics. Politics seems to be creeping into my hobby more and more. My specialty is in the field of crypto financing, and you've just messed with my XRP. I've never felt so intimidated by the government before, especially financially, because the worst thing that's ever happened to my money was caused by a stupid decision made by the SEC. Let me sum up by saying this. What you believe politically is irrelevant to me. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you fall on, you listen to this. I won't be giving you a political sermon. However, I plan to publicly shame both liberal and conservative politicians for their anti-crypto stances. And I'm going to cheer for both left and right politicians who support crypto. And the most recent and significant development in this area is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' announcement on Twitter that he is running for president and, oh yeah, he's supporting cryptocurrencies. So, let me point out a few things. However, before we go any further, I should state that I am not a financial expert and do not have any sort of financial support. Also, you know that you shouldn't act on any of my recommendations to buy or sell. I'm merely a hobbyist who likes to share his knowledge on crypto-related issues through YouTube videos. But only as a pastime and for entertainment purposes. So, have a peek at the other XRP holders out there. I don't know how you feel, but I'm sick of hearing attacks on the United States from our own government. And I know that similar things exist in other parts of the world as well. Just because I use the term United States doesn't mean that everyone else does. If this is happening where you are, it is the same as if you were in the United States. And as a holder of XRP, I'm sick of it. But I ain't even kidding, that's what I've said from the start. It's the largest blow to my bank account that I've ever experienced. Something happening outside of the typical ups and downs of the market for volatility. The SEC onslaught was the government's largest financial blow to me. Yes, there are nasty actors on the left and the right when it comes to crypto in politics, but let's play nice here. Do any of you recall this? Take a look at this January 4, 2017 headline from the New York Times. Donald Trump has chosen a lawyer from Wall Street to be his next Secretary of State. Again, I'm not going to discuss politics unless they directly affect the crypto and financial industries. However, let's face facts. Trump's crypto competence was abysmal. Just horrible. You can tell he's telling the truth because of what he stated. Right? He made a point of criticizing Bitcoin in his remarks. She made a suggestion, he made a nomination, and it was accepted. His replacement was Jay Clayton. Imagine I had to choose one person who most resembled Jay Clayton, the man you see before you. This is the person whose actions caused me the worst financial hardship I've ever faced. Basically, on purpose. They were experts in their field. This is complete rubbish, and they are aware that it occurred during the Trump administration. But here's the thing, that didn't happen after the following government took office. Even the Biden administration was like, hold my drink. And inexplicably, they made matters even worse, to the point that, with few exceptions, there is now a full-on assault against crypto or any form of digital security from the highest levels of that administration on down. Who among you holds XRP? Are you getting tired of this nonsense already? I can't stand it since I like to share. Look, I'm not a person who votes based on just one subject. More and more people are getting into crypto every day, so it is clear that this is here to stay and will continue to be a major issue in every election coming forward. Those knuckleheads who are trying to stop it, suppress it, and argue as if it were created just for the use of criminals are, of course, wrong. In a broad sense, those folks need to leave, and that's totally okay. I don't vote based on a single subject. Some of you might be confident in the crypto, but I'm not, and I'm going to take a lot of things into account. This, however, is a huge problem for me. The fact that we now know that things could have been even worse under Kim Jong-Gensler than they were under Trump and Biden is mind-boggling. Actually, I'm getting really tired of this. Look, you guys may take this however you choose. I'm only stating the facts as I see them in regards to crypto and who is for and against it. And now, a statement of fact. Governor Ron DeSantis, who just today declared his candidacy for President of the United States on Twitter, is a supporter of cryptocurrencies. The latest CoinDesk headline is here. To keep things in order, I'll also mention a different presidential candidate from the other major party that supported crypto. Because, let's face it, this is the day's most significant development. I'd like to get right into this. Bitcoin, however, poses a challenge to the incumbent government, according to the headline from CoinDesk DeSantis. It's incredible that someone in a position of authority in the United States could hold such a view. You really can't put a stop to it now. Already published. It wouldn't stop existing even if the United States miraculously banned it. And theoretically, that still poses a threat to the US currency. Since that's the worry, and I believe it is, then you must take it seriously since you're focusing so negatively on it. However, since you obviously cannot stop it. The full text of PISA is as follows. The most recent Republican Party presidential hopeful has come out as a supporter of cryptocurrency. During his official announcement for the presidency of the United States, Ron DeSantis remarked in a Twitter thread alongside Elon Musk and venture capitalist David Sachs that the current regime definitely has it out for Bitcoin. Then he added, quoting himself, "And if it continues for another 4 years, they'll probably end up killing it," end quote. I'll simply say this, they won't be able to eradicate Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies due to their widespread and decentralized nature. He may have been more specific in making that statement. But what he meant there, because it would be absurd if Bitcoin were to suddenly disappear. I don't think it's going to happen because of the reaction, even if he means that literally and is talking about how commodities are under severe threat or might even be outlawed in the United States. But if they got their way, well, then we might examine the assault on everything. If they had their way, then yes. Naturally, they would do so. At this point, I don't think they'll succeed. This is why I admire politicians that speak out against such foolishness. So, just keep that in mind, and whatever your political leanings may be, in the broadest sense, it doesn't really matter. To be clear, if you vote for Biden, you are voting against your financial well-being in regards to cryptocurrency. And you know what? If you're taking a principled approach and you're not a one-issue voter like me, and you don't like it but you're gonna vote for him nonetheless, in ways I could still respect that. Again, I have no interest in mastering any other facets of the political channel. Not at all how things stand right now. But know that if you succeed in doing so, it will not be to your financial advantage in the long run, especially with regards to crypto, and that if we continue down this road, you can anticipate more of the same. Still, if there is a new administration, who or what stays and who goes depends on who gets the job. Now, having Someone like DeSantis in office is no guarantee that everything is going to be hunky-dory and everything is just going to be fine, but I'll tell you this, when it comes to crypto, whether it's somebody on the left or the right, somebody who is talking like this is going to make me feel a lot more confident for the future. It's still possible that they'll butcher it, or at least give it lip service in an effort to win over voters. Maybe they're trying to appeal to the masses, but I'll explain why that's not necessarily the case in a moment. Particularly with DeSantis, but also with an opposing presidential candidate like Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., I don't think that's the case. I agree with both of them, and I want to emphasize what he says about halfway through the clip. Both of them, I believe, truly believe what they are saying. And it's a strong argument in favor of Bitcoin. But generally speaking, I believe it leads to a pro-crypto stance. Also, remember that nothing has been promised. What about crypto safety though? As opposed to someone like Biden, who has made their intentions damn plain in so many words, here's where we come in, the future. You can see that it's not just talk. What about the axe coming down from up high, with several government agencies interfering to destroy our financial stability? There has never been an opportunity like this, and our financial circumstances are doing their best to destroy our chance at truly extraordinary riches and crypto. In terms of investing in the future of our species, there has never been a better time than now. Never. Even after 14 years, some idiots are still trying to knock this down. What kind of moron are you? I really can't take this anymore. Honestly, I can't. That's why I keep stressing that I don't care if it's a liberal or a conservative. I really couldn't care less. If you insist on making such an idiotic statement, you may be sure that I will respond with resistance. We should all hope for and demand better. I couldn't care less what your political views are. The left and the right should do better for us. The rest of the piece. DeSantis has stated that crypto is a matter of civil liberties for him. Some legal experts have questioned whether or not the law he signed as governor of Florida actually prohibits the usage of digital currencies issued by central banks in the state. He even went as far as saying, "I just don't have the itch to have to control everything that people may be doing in this space," to emphasize his point. They see Bitcoin as a threat and are trying to regulate it out of existence, in a quote. Again, that sounds a lot better to me than anything I've heard from either Biden or Trump. That's not at all like the arguments we'd previously heard them make. The opposite is true. In terms of the crypto problem, suggestions like that are a step in the right way. Then again, in this I should mention that Fox Business reporter Eleanor Turret tweeted something to the effect of, "As more and more contenders for president declare their support for cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, I believe it will become increasingly vital to differentiate between those who actually understand the space and those who are just using it as a talking point to get votes." That's dead on, both for DeSantis and for Kennedy. I think both parties are sincere in their promises, and if one of them is elected president, they will finally have a chance to prove me and you and the rest of the crypto community wrong. However, have a look at the headline from May 17th here. In no way is this antiquated. So, Ron DeSantis outlawed digital currencies issued by a central bank in Florida approximately a week ago. Potentially next up are the states. That's how Decrypt's headline reads. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to claim to know the specifics of this situation from a legal standpoint. Of course, it's possible that this is all just posturing, but I was surprised to learn, after watching a clip of an interview between Ron DeSantis and John Stossel, who, by the way, is very well spoken, that the latter had been trying to land an interview with the former for what felt like an eternity. Since he seems to be really sincerely opposed to central bank digital currencies, Ron DeSantis agreed to finally have an interview with him when he claimed he wanted to discuss such. Now, listen, I have some major worries. And I won't go off on a tangent about it because it would be going a bit beyond the point of this video. However, when it comes to digital currencies issued by national central banks, I have grave misgivings. In addition, I believe that they are probably unavoidable in most locations. Therefore, if there were to be a central bank or digital currency, and no safeguards were put in place to assure the utmost safety for citizens, I would still be yelling against it. But because I'll be yelling that it hasn't been given enough time to develop? If so, when will this actually happen? So, what are Ripple stocks? Indeed, that's how I see it. That's also what I think is most likely. That's why I'm saying. Personally, I think it's best if it didn't exist at all, but if it does, it needs stringent regulations. Because of this, I'm concerned about significant government overreach. For the simple reason that it's possible to misuse it. Do you have any predictions about the fate of China's central bank's digital currency? Do you believe that citizens and their privacy are protected in any way? Or is it programmable money, which the government may use to cut off your access to if you don't do as they say? And look, I know you could argue, but if there's something unlawful being done and the governor wants to come down, and they, that can already be there already mechanisms in place that can freeze bank accounts, etc. And I'd say yeah, but if you're suggesting we immediately transition to central bank digital currencies, then what you're doing is, by using only digital currencies issued by the central bank, you eliminate one potential source of resistance. For example, a bank or a credit card merchant may object to the government's action against a specific individual on the grounds that it violates the Constitution or other laws. However, without this intermediary, these institutions would be unable to do anything to stop it. That, I believe, is significant. In my opinion, that is a major problem. Digital currency has the potential to be exploited. You can now see where at least the DeSantis want to take this discussion. So, Willie, there are no promises for follow-through. But I'll tell you what, this sounds a lot better than the alternative, which is, perhaps a few more years if Kim Jong-un's or. I hope Mr. Burns doesn't keep making a fool of himself in whatever capacity of government. Please don't show me that, I don't want to see it. As a matter of fact, I'll admit that I currently own around 30 different types of cryptocurrency. And yes, XRP is my preferred cryptocurrency, my largest position, and it is currently under attack due to the topics we've covered in this video. But there's no guarantee I won't spend the remainder of my cash on a full-scale assault. Other coins I possess, such as Algorand, Dash, and Filecoin, have been accused by the SEC of being securities. Just kidding, thanks a bunch. You jerks, thank you for nothing. That can't be tolerated in any way. And he is well aware that they will not be released. And I seriously doubt they have any credence in their own reasoning. From a lawful point of view. That's lovely, since, the XRP community has been in the thick of things for at least 2.5 years. Now we know what's up. You pay attention because I know more than the average person. You still know more about cryptography than they do, even if they're a fanatic. But what I'm trying to say is that unless we get someone in charge who supports crypto, things are only going to get worse. Moreover, I don't care if you're on the left or the right, and I'll say it again because it bears repeating, we should still be friends, and we should still push back against anybody on the left or the right who was anti-crypto. On the left, and granted, fine, that Vice President Biden has hinted at running for a second term, despite his equivocations on the subject in the past, if you've been paying attention. However, consider this. Here's another news headline from Decrypt dated May 21st. Kennedy, a presidential candidate, has made the pledge to protect Bitcoin against government intrusion. So there are both liberal and conservative politicians who recognize the significance of this. And although I won't be promoting any one politician in this video, I reserve the right to do so in the future, because it's my channel, damn it. But I will say this much. As XRP holders, investors, and owners of cryptocurrencies, we must face the reality of the threats posed by those in power who work against our interests. You can't be on the left or the right and still be blind to the fact that a member of your own party is actively working against your best interests financially in the realm of cryptocurrency. You're not even trying to make an honest argument. And then there'd be no way to even have a conversation. No matter who is in power, let's put up a fight. In any case, the gist of this piece is as follows. On the last day of the 2023 Bitcoin conference in Miami, Florida, a speaker addressed a crowded audience. To safeguard Bitcoin from what he called invasive surveillance, Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. firmly incorporated Bitcoin into his campaign platform. Today, governments and businesses have a much greater potential to exert control over people's lives, thanks to the ways in which technology has advanced. His comment continues, distant, impersonal multinationals and authoritarian technologies have usurped realms of human activity that were once private or held by the community, and so on. Who among those hearing would disagree with these sorts of worries and fail to recognize your rightness, even if you are right? Sure, it makes sense, but why wouldn't you at least acknowledge the value of that viewpoint in relation to Bitcoin? Now, I still wish these folks would talk a bit more generally and just say cryptocurrencies instead of Bitcoins, the one that people know, especially if they aren't very deep into crypto or at all in crypto. If you will, it carries the prestige of the brand. It makes sense to me. Therefore, I will not criticize it. It was both DeSantis and Kennedy, as far as I am aware. To me, crypto is more reliable. It's also conceivable they're just Bitcoin maximalists who like Bitcoin but are hostile to any other cryptocurrency. I'm aware that danger can come from anyone, including those who initially appear to be on our I'm not ignorant about the current state of the crypto market. I don't have any illusions about this. I understand it. However, the current state of affairs is clearly not advantageous to us in terms of crypto. That much is certain to us. That's something we have to take on faith. The attacks on Trump and Biden have continued. It's horrible. Nothing good can come of this. I've had enough of it. How about you? What you believe politically is irrelevant to me. You haven't completed this task yet. To hell with these jerks. In any case, I now possess it. I don't give advice on money matters. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. Please like if you enjoyed it and subscribe as always. See you later, bye.